Hi guys, welcome to Beercast episode 3.
Hi, hi.
So today we're gonna review the movie 1917. We just saw this movie yesterday, so this review is gonna be awesome.
And we lost our shit after watching this movie. This is definitely one of the best films we have seen. अच्छा एक second, इसका
I
release
mean, it's no surprise that this movie won an Golden Globe Award, right?
Golden Globes. It won Screen Actors Guild Awards. It won a lot of awards. ये तो मतलब
Yeah. So to give you some background about the movie, it was directed by Sam Mendes, and it's this movie is based on World War I,
it's
and
based on real stories. Because in the end, at the credit during the time of the credits, they showed the name of one particular soldier.
so yeah, there was this war veteran who told this story, and based on this story, Sam Mendes was inspired and he made this movie. So the movie stars,
Okay, so the movie stars George McKay as the protagonist. Yeah, the unlikely Schofield. Yes, Schofield. It also stars Dean Charles Chapman. If anybody remembers the movie.
you might know him from Game of Thrones as Cersei's firstborn child, I guess.
And amongst the most recognizable people, it stars Richard Madden, Benedict Cumberbatch, Colin Firth, Andrew Scott, and Mark Strong. Yeah, I mean after that we've still got a few names, but I don't think anybody would really know them. That's it.
So to begin, so to give you the summary of the movie. So basically, if I read from Wikipedia, during World War One, two British soldiers, Lance Corporal Schofield and Lance Corporate Blake, Corporal Corporal Blake. मैं कॉर्पोरेट क्यों बोल रहा था
don't know, bro.
receive seemingly impossible orders. In a race against time, they must cross over into enemy territory to deliver a message that could potentially save 1600 of their fellow comrades, including Blake's own brother.
Yeah, so that is the overview about the entire film's plot, and that's basically it. I mean, the film doesn't really have a very complex story. It's about two soldiers going out on a very perilous journey from point A to point B, and they come across so many different kinds of problems, and they come up with various ways to solve them. They react to their problems in very different ways because they're two completely different people. One of them has their brothers in danger. One of them has one of their brothers in danger, so he's like really, really uh, up and running about it. But the other one sort of gets really mad in like the first one third of the film. He's like, "Why did you have to pick me to come on this journey with you? Because this is so dangerous. We're basically crossing this huge minefield sort of thing."
So basically the film starts with the general of their troop calling these two corporals, Schofield and Blake, uh, because Blake was apparently good with maps. So the general thought he would be the best person to be sent on this mission to tell the other troop to not go forward with this attack since it's a trap by the German army.
Also, this thing that the general probably thought that since Blake would have a lot of motive to go to that place because his brother would die if they
If he
attack.
won't be able to his brother might die if he won't be able to deliver that message on time, so he had much more motivation and a purpose to go there and be on time also. So the story is pretty simple, it's straightforward. The main attraction of this movie is the cinematography, the shooting, the camera angles, the acting, how realistic everything was. Like it was like out of this world. This was like something we had never seen before. This was just like words are not able to express what I saw. So you have to witness it yourself. You have to watch this movie. If you can watch it in the hall, it will be the best experience. Yeah, that's we watched it all at IMAX. So our experience is pretty good. Actually, not good. It was like unforgettable. Yeah.
And I think huge props to Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins. I mean, you don't really even have to take their names. These two have worked together before on Skyfall. Roger Deakins won an Oscar for Blade Runner 2049. Another amazing. I mean, when you watch something like Blade Runner 2049 and then you watch this movie, it feels like shit. Yeah, I mean, I see where Roger Deakins points when he's trying to get somewhere. And there were some very notable moments when Sam Mendes was playing with lights and shadow. But I mean, I could pick out the points when because Skyfall is probably one of his the films that out of all the films he's made, Skyfall is one of my favorites. And now this has just turned into one of my favorites. It has even topped Skyfall. Skyfall had this little sequence where James Bond and a sharpshooter or something were fighting on in a building, and there was a neon advert sort of going on in the background, which had some amazing light and shadow effect.
Yeah.
So it had a lot of that going on, and I saw and then again Sam Mendes pulled off a one take scene in the beginning of Spectre. Like
Yeah.
the entire shot in the like the first 4 5 minute 10 minute long intros, James Bond, that was all one shot.
Yeah.
So he just poured all of his best shit into this film.
Yeah.
And it's just the first word that I for it was like when we walked out of the theater, we didn't even talk. Right, because we were
Because
so
we were overwhelmed by how good the film was.
Totally. And my first word when I saw the when I walked out of the theater, my first word when I walked out of there was extraterrestrial.
Yeah, it was out of this world basically. And also it's like it has won a Golden Globe and a SAG award. So
Awards
yeah,
list is
so and it's also nominated for Oscars. So what we think, we vouch that this movie is going to probably win the Oscars this year. And there's no doubt about it as well. It's so yeah, it has won Golden Globe awards for best motion pictures, and the director, yeah, best director also Sam Mendes has won. So yeah, so pretty much I
I think
guess
yeah, that's it. I'm done. We
yeah.
Critics' Choice Awards. We want to point out best director, best editing, and best. Fuck you, you shit. Okay, so best editing, best cinematography, and best director. All three Critics' Choice Awards.
रोजर डीकिंस और इस दोनों को मिल गया
Yeah,
सामने
man.
yeah.
Like,
So we just watched the behind the scenes of this movie to like to understand how they actually shot these scenes, and we are pretty impressed about like how much hard work goes behind all these scenes. We don't really acknowledge them properly, but if you can also watch the behind the scenes of this the making of this movie on YouTube, like it's a really surreal experience to like experience how movies like this are made. So yeah, overall, if you would like to give this movie a rating, what would you give?
okay. So the when I was walking back home after watching this movie, there was this one thing, the only one thing that probably stuck out like a tiny, tiny bit of a thorn was, and that was after thinking a lot. Because everything in this movie was absolutely perfect, like pitch perfect, nothing could be better, except for this one tiny little thing that even though we see Schofield for such a long time, there is very little that we actually get to know about him. Yeah, we don't really understand. Like we, there are glimpses into his past because we see that he's really because he takes care of his friend a lot. He's like age before beauty, and he steps forward out of his younger partner, and he's like he tries to take the right precautions even though he gets hurt a lot, and he gets really really scared a lot of the time, and his partner has to save him. So we see all of this, like this is a result of what has happened to him before, but it's like a blurry window. We don't know what has happened to him. But even if I just put that aside, and I desperately want to, because this movie was so breathtaking, I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, even I would like to give this movie a 10 out of 10. And also, just because of the strong visuals of this movie, how like the experience was like incredible. Also, yeah, regarding Schofield, like there was this, not to give you a spoiler, but there was this one scene where he mentioned that he didn't have a good relationship with his family. So, like, he didn't actually want to go back to his family.
That wasn't the point of it.
He actually had a good relationship with his family.
He did have a good relationship with his family. The thing was that he didn't want to go back home because he knew that it wouldn't last, and that every time he'd have to come back, and that next time around they might never be able
Acha,
to see
acha,
his face
acha,
again.
fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So actually, he was really attached to his family. I got it wrong. So yeah, that's our review of the movie. Go ahead and watch it.
Oh, surely.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Should we say bye though?